Welcome back to my channel, soap opera fans. If you're as obsessed with The Bold and the Beautiful as I am, then you're in for a treat today. In this video we're diving deep into the January 27th episode, where tensions are rising, insecurities are bubbling over, and relationships are on the brink. I'm going to break it all down for you in detail, scene by scene, with my thoughts, predictions, and a whole lot of drama analysis. This is going to be a long one, aiming for that epic breakdown because you all deserve the full scoop. Grab your popcorn, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's jump right in. First off, let's set the stage for this episode. The Bold and the Beautiful has been delivering non-stop twists lately, and this January 27th installment is no exception. We start with Finn, played by the ever-charming Tanner Novlan, in a total scramble. He's got to head to work, but who's going to watch little Hayes? As a busy doctor and devoted dad, Finn's life is a juggling act, and this episode highlights just how chaotic things can get when Steffi's out of town. Steffi, portrayed by Jacqueline McInnes Wood, is off on a business trip in San Francisco with Electra, and that leaves Finn flying solo with the babysitting dilemma. Now, Finn's desperation is palpable right from the opening scenes. He's pacing around the house, phone in hand, trying to figure out a solution. Hayes, the adorable Brian David Garlick, is probably napping or playing innocently in the background, oblivious to the adult drama unfolding. Finn knows he can't miss his shift at the hospital. Lives depend on him after all. So he turns to the younger generation for help. Will and Dylan. Will, played by Crew Morrow, and Dylan, brought to life by Sydney Bullock, are the unlikely heroes here. Finn asks them if they're willing to step up and watch Hayes during his shift. It's a simple request on the surface, but oh boy does it stir up a hornet's nest. Let me pause here to talk about why this setup is so genius from the writer's perspective. The Bold and the Beautiful thrives on interpersonal conflicts, and by involving these young characters in a babysitting gig, they're creating opportunities for jealousy, misunderstandings, and potential romantic entanglements. Will and Dylan alone together? That's soap opera gold. And the news doesn't stay contained in Los Angeles. It travels all the way to San Francisco, where Electra overhears Steffi's conversation about it. Electra, played by Linnea Grace, is already dealing with her own baggage, and this little tidbit sends her into a spiral of insecurity. Electra's reaction is what really kicks the emotional stakes up a notch. She's in San Francisco with Steffi, presumably for some Forrester Creations business, but her mind is back home. Overhearing that Will and Dylan are spending time together watching Hayes? That's like a red flag waving in front of her. Electra's past experiences have left her wary. Remember her fallout with Remy, played by Christian Weissman? That friendship implosion taught her not to trust easily, and now it's manifesting in her relationship with Will. Shifting gears to the next key point, Steffi gets that call from Finn. She's in San Francisco looking fabulous as always when her phone rings. Finn fills her in on the babysitting arrangement. Will and Dylan are on duty for Hayes. Steffi, being the supportive wife, probably reassures him that it's a great idea. But then she puts him on speakerphone so Electra can hear. Big mistake? Or intentional? Steffi's no stranger to drama, and this move amplifies everything. Electra's concern hits immediately. Hearing that Will and Dylan are alone together triggers her insecurities. She warns Dylan not to overstep boundaries. Wait, how does that even happen? Oh, right, through the phone or perhaps a follow-up call. The episode builds this tension beautifully, showing Electra's internal conflict. One moment she's protective and wary, the next she's having a change of heart. She realizes it's actually sweet of Will to help out Finn and Steffi. This flip-flop is classic Electra. Her emotions are all over the place, making her such a relatable character for anyone who's ever dealt with jealousy in a relationship. So Electra decides to call Will to show her appreciation. It's a nice gesture, right? But then Dylan gets on the phone. Electra explains that she would have watched Hayes herself, maybe in the guest room or something. Dylan's response? Well, the script has Electra brushing her off quickly and asking to speak with Will again. This interaction is loaded with subtext. Is Dylan being flirty? Is Electra reading too much into it? The writers are planting seeds here for future conflicts, and I love it. Diving deeper into Electra's psyche, her insecurities are truly eating away at her. She claims it's hard to trust people after the Remy situation, which was a betrayal that cut deep. But is there more to it? The episode hints at Ivy's involvement. Ivy who's always stirring the pot. Ivy doesn't trust Will, seeing him as a womanizer like her father. She might have gotten into Electra's head with warnings not to take things to the next level. Is Ivy intentionally trying to destroy Electra and Will's relationship? That's the big question floating around fan forums right now. Let's speculate a bit. Ivy's motives could be protective, or they could be manipulative. In The Bold and the Beautiful, family ties run deep and Ivy's history with the Spencers and Forresters adds layers. If she's planting doubts in Electra's mind, it could backfire spectacularly. Will might pick up on Electra's insecurity and start questioning if she's ready for a serious relationship. And Dylan? He's got that cool confidence that could draw Will in. Electra says she trusts them, but deep down she doesn't feel right about them being alone. She's terrified of losing Will, and that fear is driving her actions. On Tuesday's episode, wait, the summary jumps ahead a bit, but let's tie it in. Electra confesses her insecurities to Steffi. She admits that something feels wrong, even though she knows she should trust them. This vulnerability is heartbreaking. Steffi's role here is crucial. As a mentor figure to Electra, she could offer advice that either calms the storm or fans the flames. Will Electra's insecurities drive Will away? That's the cliffhanger vibe we're left with. Now let's backtrack and expand on the babysitting setup. Finn's desperation isn't just about work. It's about balancing family life in the high-stakes world of the Forresters. Steffi's business trip to San Francisco with Electra suggests some fashion empire dealings, perhaps scouting new talent or sealing a deal. Electra's presence there shows her growing role in the company, but it also isolates her from Will, amplifying her paranoia. When Finn asks Will and Dylan for help, it's a moment of generational crossover. Will as Liam's son carries that Spencer charm, while Dylan brings fresh to babysit energy. Hayes speaks to their characters. Responsible, helpful, but perhaps a bit naive about the drama it could cause. Hayes, the baby, is more than a prop. He's a symbol of Finn and Steffi's stable life amidst chaos. The news reaching San Francisco via Steffi's conversation is a classic soap trope. Overheard phone calls leading to misunderstandings. Electra's eavesdropping isn't malicious. It's accidental, but it fuels her growing insecurity. This ties back to her past with Remy, a friendship that fell apart due to trust issues. The show is using this to explore themes of vulnerability in young love. Steffi's call with Finn on speaker is a pivotal scene. Jacqueline McInnes would nail Steffi's confidence, while Tanner Novlin brings Finn's earnestness. Electra's face, as played by Linnea Grace, likely shows a mix of surprise and worry. Her warning to Dylan about boundaries comes across as possessive, but it's rooted in fear. Then the change of heart, Electra seeing the sweetness in Will's actions. This internal monologue or dialogue reveals her growth potential. Calling Will to appreciate him is a step toward maturity, but getting Dylan on the phone derails it. Electra's brush off of Dylan is telling. She's marking her territory subtly. Electra's insecurities are the episode's core. Post-Remy trust is fragile. Ivy's warnings about Will being a womanizer echo family patterns. Ivy's dad was notorious for that. Is Ivy sabotaging? Possibly out of concern or jealousy. Will might sense Electra's doubts and gravitate toward Dylan's confidence.